Hello, hello. Coach Dai here, otherwise known as Coach Moose. We're all friends here, so you can just call me Coach. I just had an inspiring conversation with a fellow podcaster who's out of Australia. His name's Rory, and I'll be sharing a bit more about his podcast shortly when it comes out in the next few weeks. But, it really got me thinking, lifestyles. A lot of us, either we're feeling unhealthy, we're feeling like things aren't quite going to plan, like we're being limited in some cases, just with what potential there exists in front of us. We start asking ourselves, is this it? Is there more to life than what I'm doing? We start to look internally and we realize, I could be doing so much more. We set some intentions into the type of life we want, and we ultimately think about the way we want to live. What level of health do we need to sustain that? What kind of food should we be eating to fuel that life? What kind of things and people should we be associating with? And what I've realized, the more of these conversations that I'm having with people, is that a lot of us overcomplicate things. Let's be honest. We have more access to information today than any other time in our history. If you have a mobile phone with a Wi-Fi connection, which chances are you may be watching this right now on that, right? Guys, when do we actually realize that the information we're getting, do we ever question it? Because we should. But we have to realize there is more information than we know what to do with today. And no wonder when people are coming and joining my community or my tribe or reaching out to me, they're confused. Okay, I get it. We're all confused. And so what I'm trying to really establish with a lot of people that are just starting to come on board with the Whole Life Fitness Manifesto in particular, it's our free 28-day program to really help people optimize health, happiness through a body, mind, and spirit protocol. And this is not the point of this Facebook Live, but the point of this is there's three things I'm trying to reiterate, and just to try to simplify things for anybody who's watching this. If you're feeling like you need to make some shifts, whether it be with your health, whether it be with your finances, whether it be with your spirituality or just your career, if you feel like there's shifts that need to happen, you just feel this urge, you wake up in the morning, you feel like, oh my God, I got to change something, because the pain of not changing, right, outweighs the pain of changing itself. If you're feeling that way right now, here's three things to do. The first thing is you want to establish a baseline. Literally establish where you're at right now. Figure it out. If it's a health change you want to make, get yourself an activity tracker. Most mobile phones now have an app that can do this for you. Start looking at some of your health data. Start to look at it. Figure out the things that you're not doing. Figure out the things that you are doing, because you can't argue with the data. And the same applies if you want to make a financial change. Well, establish a foundation. Figure out where you're at right now. We all have to acknowledge where you are right now is based on every other experience and choice and action you've made up to this point, right? Either you've made them or you haven't. But here you are. You can't argue with that. We're here right now. Draw a line in the sand, step over it, realize everything that's happened behind you, it's now in the past. You can't change it. You can change how you approach it and how you think about it, how you reference it, how you frame it up, and you can learn from it. But realize it doesn't really have any bearing on today, right now. The future that I envision for myself, my past, it doesn't really dictate that. So realize in establishing a baseline, you're now saying, okay, this is where I'm at. Got it. We have a starting point. And now we can plot a line to where you want to get to, right? Now, as we start to formulate these ideas of transformation or change or shifting our current life and moving into something more in alignment with what we really want for ourselves, what we want to create, you're going to want to plug into a community. That's number two, right? One, establish a baseline. Number two, plug into a community. We need support. We need to get around people that want similar things as us. We want to get around people that are going places, people that, and as cliche as that sounds, literally, people that are going in a direction based on an emotional drive. It's not just because, I think I ought to do this because this is my ultimate outcome. We can think about logistics all day long. We can plot things all day long. But when you have that emotional, intrinsic connection with what you're doing, man, you're on fire, right? Because you're not just having a fire underneath your feet getting you moving up and down, but you have a fire from within that's burning externally. like that is combustion. That is fuel. That is drive. So when you get around a community of people that are already like that stoke that fire within you, holy smokes, watch out. Because these things that you've been envisioning for yourself, these goals that you set and said, this is where I'm going, you now have a community that's going to hold you accountable to that. They're going to encourage you, because there's going to be days where you trip, you fall, you're flat on your face, you got a bloody nose, maybe you break a limb, metaphorically speaking, I hope. But you're going to need some encouragement. You need some empathy. You need some people to say, hey, you know what? I've been there too. It's totally cool. Don't worry. I know you got a little scrape now. Let's patch you up, pick you up, pat you on the back. Hey, we're here for you. We got your back. Because that connection is huge. Community. So that's number 2. So number 1, establish a baseline, figure out where you're at. Number 2, find a community to hold you accountable, to pull you along, to push you along, to fire you up, so that goal that you have envisioned for that transformation, that change that you want to make, can be sustained, right, as you make it your lifestyle. Now, number 3, and this is the one where I see most people fall short on. This is very important. You got to get a coach. You need a mentor. You need somebody that can hold you accountable to another level. Someone that can ask you the hard questions, the questions that we often don't ask ourselves, or we ask ourselves, but we never dig deep enough to find the root answer, the real driving factor. I can speak firsthand on this. I'm a big believer in coaching and mentorship. Many experiences in my own life would have gone completely different had I not found a coach or a mentor to help me along. Especially when I was a morbidly obese teenager. Had I not had the direct influence of some coaches and some mentors in my life, I don't think I ever would have made that physical change, or at least sustained the physical change that I did, losing the weight, regaining some self-confidence, and ultimately developing a passion for helping others in the process. That was the seed that got me started over 20 years ago in what I do today all the time, because of a coach and a mentor. And then fast forward a number of other years when I got into business, it was a direct coach and a mentor that helped me really get good at something professionally, to really understand sales, to understand leadership, to understand business development. I worked with somebody, and that person was my mentor for 17 years, and I learned a ton. And then even 8 years ago when I gave up alcohol, I plugged into a community. I found some people in my life that I looked up to, that I started to get around. And I realized that it reinforced this decision and this commitment I made to living life a little differently. Coaching and mentorship. Who has influenced your life? Who? Who has influenced you to strive for more? Who uplifts you, but at the same time challenges you? Because if you don't have somebody like that in your life, you got to get one. All right. And don't be afraid to invest in it. Oh my goodness. You know what? It's a small price to pay in your entire scope of life. And just realize we get into this sort of chaotic flow of change. And change is difficult at times. It's different. It's outside of our comfort zone. But if you can push through that state of feeling uncomfortable, you are going to come out the other side renewed, recharged, re-energized, refocused, and recommitted to a life that you've envisioned previously. Because again, remember, we established a baseline, we plug into a community, and then we have a coach and a mentor that holds us accountable to a lot of these big ambitions that we've set for ourselves. And don't set the little ones, okay? Anybody can set little goals. I want you to set big ones. Big, massive, ambitious goals. Because we're all afraid to, right? We're afraid of failure. I asked a question a couple of weeks ago of my community. I said, hey, why is it that we don't do the things that we know we ought to be doing and the things that we want to be doing? And the number one thing that kept coming up was fear of failure. Fear of failure. It holds us back from doing certain things in life because we're worried that we're going to screw up. And you know what? We do. We screw up all the time. I'm a dad of 2 teenage girls. Oh my gosh. I've realized I've made some mistakes and I learn from them. And they're learning from me. My community's learning from me. People in your life are learning from you. But we have to be willing to take those risks at times, to go out on a limb, to try new things, to push through and realize that we are meant for something amazing in life. It's pretty awesome. We're given one life, and one should be enough as long as we're maximizing the opportunity. Anyway, so that's it. Those are the three things, three simple things that you guys can start doing right now. All right. One, establish a baseline in your life, whether it be financial, whether it be fitness, whether it be health, whatever it is. Figure out all those, even the pillars, the values in your life. Where are you at right now? Because you need to know the baseline if you want to make some changes. Two, plug into a community to support you, a tribe. Find people of like mind to support you, to uplift you, because you are the direct sum of the 5 closest people you spend the most time with. No questions asked. Look at your association. If people aren't uplifting you and challenge you for you to live a great life, you better go find that. And number 3, find a coach and a mentor. Find someone to ask you the hard questions and to help you along on this journey of change. Because there is a line in the sand and you have the choice to step over it. And realize once you've stepped over it, oh man, it's a beautiful thing. You've got a whole expanse of opportunity in front of you. You simply got to choose to step over. Anyways, that's it, guys. I know it's late for some of you. It's early for me, but I'm looking forward to reconnecting with a lot of you in the community. If you haven't joined the Whole Life Fitness Manifesto, our free tribe, hey, you're welcome to. Join WLFM.com. It's free. Plug in. You're going to meet some amazing people, and they're people that can uplift you and hold you accountable, as well as be there to support you on this beautiful thing called life. Anyways, be well, guys, and I'll talk to you again soon.